market for their broilers. So basically, I'm seeing a weakness in that people start broiler farming without studying their market the right way. And then they expect that, no, um, my market is my community, my neighbors. They don't have anywhere where they are buying chicken, which is a good reason to start, but you're not certain that those people, each and every one of them, is going to buy all your chickens. So there needs to be more than just, no, my neighbors are my market or my target market for you to actually start doing broiler farming, especially broiler farming, because broiler farming requires you to be on your toes all the time. 6 weeks is not long enough for you to relax. So the moment you're placing your first batch of chicks is the moment you need to know where are they going in 40 days or 35 days. So there's no time to chill. There's no time to say, Umakelwane will buy my chicken, because what if they still have chicken when your next cycle is ready for the market? And what happens if Umakelwane loses their job and all of that? So basically, um, six weeks batches of 8 weeks per batch. Reason I'm saying 8 weeks is because you have to give 2 weeks cooling period to your house before you can place another batch. It means that uh, if you are doing 500 per batch, it means that in a year you would have done 3,000. No, I'm lying. Not 3,000. It means that in a month, in a year, eight. Yo, Norma, my maths. Norma, are you there? Norma.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, sis. I'm actually in another meeting. I'm just concluding quickly on Google Meet. And I'll be with you guys in a second. Just give me 5 minutes.
Okay, but basically, you need to know that in a year, how many batches that you would have. So you give each batch 8 weeks, and I don't know if you would be using one house or advisable to have at least three houses, so that you change your cycles every 2 weeks. You move from brooding to middle house to the end phase, or you brood once and then you move your chickens however you want to move them. But it's advisable to at least have three cycles, minimum of two, but three cycles would be a better way of actually making money. So in terms of access to markets, you need to first go out there and speak to the stores. Some stores actually do not need you to have a food security or or any sort of certification in order for them to allow you to sell to their stores. It's not all of them. Once Norma is done, she will give you guys a brief of how she has been able to access Spa, but only via the vegetables. So it's very hard with meat at some stores. But in regards to, well, for myself, I've had access to OK Grocery Store. The only thing that they needed from me was that I bring them a sample of my chicken. So basically, you bring the best of the best, and then from that, they would say, okay, you can supply us with so many chickens in however long, or every week you bring this many chickens. Then that would make your life easier, because then you would start planning your batches based on that market that you have gotten. So um, but one thing that I can also try to advise on is that if your sample was this top quality of a chicken, then next time don't take chicken that is less of that quality, because you basically ruining your work relationship with those people, and they will chase you away because you're not the only one that is wanting to supply them. I was lucky because I went straight to the buyer of the store, the butcher manager, and I asked him how much is he getting um a chicken for or per kilogram. So you need to at least try to familiarize yourself with such people in the store if they don't want you to have certification. So you go and you ask him, how much are you guys, the kilogram that you're paying at the present moment for your chicken? How much is it? And I found out that they were paying 32 rands per kilogram. And then I said, okay, then I can give it to you for 31 rands 50. And basically, that's how I was in. It was a good relationship. I managed to deliver the chicken based on that. So you don't start with putting your chickens in your chicken house um, before you know where you're going to take your chicken, especially if your place is small like mine. I'm not in a very big area. So my market analysis had to be the most important thing that I had to do. And as a matter of fact, starting off without doing proper market research, it could be a, a one-way ticket to failing at doing broiler farming. You might end up sitting with chickens for 8 weeks because you do not know what to do with them. We are risk takers as business people, and it's not a bad thing to do that. However, when it comes to trying to make money or selling, or if you're selling your product for money, then and your product actually has a sell by date, then it's better to have a proper market analysis. So our speaker that was supposed to be here with us today had a market share with Alzu. And before he could actually even start off by building the house, the chicken coop, he went to Alzu and he asked them that if I want to do ABC, how can you guys, like, what's the advice? What do I do? Which chickens do you guys take? Do I just start? What's the deal? Then they said, okay, we'll come to your farm. They got to the farm and they advised, this is how you build the house. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. And this is so many chickens that we would want to take from you. So that is how he started. And he knew that, okay, they are saying that they will start with 1,000. This is a start. He built a house that will accommodate 1,000 chickens. When the 1,000 chickens got to 6 weeks, Alzu took the chickens. Basically, that's a clean operation of knowing who you are actually raising your chickens for. So basically, guys, if you want a market, there are such places. There is also Kroon's Abattoirs. It is based just outside Pretoria. Unfortunately, with Kroon's, because of the chicks shortage, they have held their contract farming for the moment. They said up until July. So what Kroon's does is they actually go to an extent of giving you day-old chicks, but a minimum of 45,000 day-old chicks. So basically, that is the most important thing, is that you need to know how much would those people, your contract farmers, that's why you don't start without them, or market share. That's why you don't start without them, because they have to tell you, this is how much, this is the minimum that would be able to take. If you bring anything less than that, then basically we're not going to be able to work with you, because those numbers are too low. Some of these places come to your farm with their trucks to come and collect the day old chicks. So for them to drive out, they need to calculate all those amounts for them to drive out and get to your farm and take the chickens and then go back to where the chickens would be slaughtered. Good evening, Abuti Tsogang. Our speaker is unfortunately ill. He went in for oxygen yesterday, and he only managed to tell me today that he's not well and he won't be able to be joining our space. But I thought, since you know, marketing and trying to get market share is something that a lot of us have probably had a bit of experience in, we could just have a short space just to share some of the things with the people. And he said that he would send an extract um, to just give a few pointers on how he managed to go into Al Zoo and become one of the people that he's working with. So basically, Unoma is still in another meeting, but I think you've caught a bit of what I was saying, and I would like to just give you a moment to have a say as well.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. Hopefully, my network, my internet, won't give me problems today. Greetings to you and greetings to everyone in the space. Thank you guys for joining us. I think we can talk to this topic, access to market and market share, because we're selling chickens anyway. And then there is a lot of people now who come into my DM mentioning that they have chickens they can't sell. So we need to look at that and find out why do people have chickens and they can't sell. And another thing that we also need to look at is people who outgrow their market as well. So perhaps the first thing that we would look at is, who are you planning to sell these chickens to when you raise them? And what informed your numbers that you are doing? Because you can't just wake up in a village where I'm staying and start making 10,000 chickens. So something must have informed you to come up with that number. So what I noticed is, you, like with me, for instance, I'll talk based on my experience, is that I am only selling to resellers. One, I don't sell chickens one to a person who walks in. So you can only buy more than 10 chickens from my farm, and you can't walk in, you have to drive in, so that I also minimize the number of people who are coming in. I'll be able to identify possible crime that can happen. And then, because I'm selling to resellers, I'm able to sell. I'm doing 2,000 chickens. Per month, not per cycle, per month. So towards the end of this month, I will have 2,000 chickens that are ready for sale. But the thing is also, guys, there's no guarantee that these chickens are going to be bought. Although I have a customer, or rather, I have a group of customers who buy from me. There's been situations where a person calls me and says, look, I'm coming to buy 500 chickens from you today. And then I wait, and the person calls and says, look, I'm no longer coming because along my way to your farm, I met a farmer who's selling cheaper than you. So those are the type of things that happens to us as small scale farmers, and we don't complain about them. We are anticipating them. At the moment, tomorrow in my farm, there will be two cycles, the one that's going to sell next month and the one that's going to sell this month end. Yet there's still no guarantee that those are going to be bought. I just want to make this clear, especially for people who come into my DMs and ask me, dude, how are you selling your chickens? You don't want to share information on the market. And I'm like, but which market? Because we all coming into this thing with some form of faith and believe that, look, my chickens are good quality and they are priced well and the people will buy. But there is no way that you are guaranteed, as long as it's not a contract, you are not guaranteed that the customer who bought from you last month is going to come and buy again this month. So it's an informal type of a market, but you can obviously find a way to maneuver in it and make it better for yourself, like I do myself, is I talk to each and every customer who buys from me. I ask them this question: what can I do to make my chickens better? What do you think I can do better? Are you happy with the size of my chickens? Are they clean? Are you happy with the way they look? And then I will ask, so when you are buying elsewhere, what are the reasons for you to buy there? I mean, I hear things like price. One old man said to me, no, I don't buy from you because your price is more than the guy down the street. I only come to buy from you when his chickens are finished. So, yeah, I guess there's so much we can say on this, Amanda. I will also note down some of the points that fellow farmers can look out for. Oh, and then here's another situation that I experienced this week. I talk to a lot of farmers on a daily basis anyway from Twitter. I call a lot of you guys. So there's two farmers who called me. One is calling from around Pretoria, and he says that his chickens are now 7 weeks. They're heading towards 8 weeks and they're not being bought. So I asked him, what is the price that you're selling? And he said he's selling 80 rand stock price, you know, in Pretoria. That is amazing because people know in Pretoria you get a chicken stock price between 50 and 55 rand. And the guy says he's selling 80 rand stock price. If you're selling chickens 80 rand stock price, who exactly are you selling to in Pretoria? Because I mean, that is the price that resellers are actually selling 75 rands, you know. So you need to know you're raising your chickens, who's your target market, and you must also have a plan that if your chickens don't get bought, what are you going to do? You know, there's other things that we do. I mean, I know farmers who have a database of people who will take their chickens. Yeah, but all in all, Amanda, there's just various methods of selling. We will talk about that as the space continues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abuti. Yes. Startups. Good evening.
Yes, hello. Good evening to all of you, and thank you for this opportunity to have me speak about this subject matter, and to have me also express myself based on certain experiences that I've had with people that are into poultry. To be very honest with you, I am in Ghana, but what I do in Ghana is to provide the livestock industry with feed. So I have something like rice bran and wheat bran. That is what primarily I am into. So as part of my responsibility to actually spot opportunities in my environment, I realize that so many people that are in the poultry business, in as much as they have the product, they don't have a ready market. So I devised a marketing strategy on how that I can come in and then help them. So I approach them and then I try to understand their business model, and then I try to hit out there and then find market for them. So while the gentleman was speaking, there were some few things that I was able to deduce, and these things are what I want to actually educate us about. You know, when it comes to the consumer buying behavior, it is very, 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 very complex. So even before you engage someone, there must be a contractual agreement. For instance, if the person wants about 100 chickens, you can tell the person that, okay, since you want these number of chickens, I would want for you to give me half of the money. So when the person makes a commitment, then you know that gives you that power to actually produce to meet the person's demands, and also to know that, okay, the person is not going to fail you when you go ahead to invest or to put whatever money that you have to put into that business, and then you go to him and then the person disappoints you. So for me, I always say this: always be very, very direct, always be very straightforward when you're dealing with people, and then tell them that no, in as much as you want to buy this, regardless of the fact that you are interested to buy these number of chickens, let us put it on paper. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That is very, very true. I think we did mention sometime last week that people can actually leave you stranded, especially in the other departments of poultry, because I'm doing layers, and I also um hatch. So if now a person comes to me and says, please hatch, or I need 100 or 2,000 day old chicks, they have to give me 50% in advance, because then I would sit here with day old chicks that nobody is going to buy, because I haven't been advertising, which is the most important thing. That if I'm going to do something, I need to advertise so that I can create traction and people are aware that I have chicks. But now, if people don't know that I have day old chicks, all of a sudden I have to up my prices and say, guys, I have day old chicks. They must go today. It's 750 rands when it could have been 960. Yes, Norma. Hey.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm finally done. I actually just wanted to follow up um, on what the lady said there about buyer consumer behavior. It's very, very important. You need to know your buyers, and you need to know exactly what your boundaries are. I feel like as farmers we find ourselves, how do I say it, lightly, desperate. We find ourselves desperate, and when we're desperate, you sell at a loss, you're panicking, you are all over the place, and then it's very tricky, this farming thing, guys. And I always say we're selling food. We're not selling. People can buy and make a conscious decision to go and buy clothes, buy a cell phone, buy a packet of chips they do not need. So trying to find a market that will buy chickens from you, or spinach, or butternut, something that they consume for their well-being, shouldn't be rocket science. But like our sister was saying, your buyer behavior is very important. Do not process anything without payment. So for example, if a person says, I want you to plant me a field, or I want you to place, like you said, Amanda, you hatch 2,000 chicks for me. You can't want me to do that on good faith. It's not going to happen. In fact, I've seen so many people, some people even process their birds. Like someone will say, please slaughter 500 chicks, 500 chickens. And I will come and pick them up on Friday. Then you slaughter 500 chickens, and then Friday, Muntu gone. No, for not answering their phone. Now you're sitting with 500 birds on your hands. And you ask yourself, why did you slaughter the first chicken without payment? Because already there, that's a service that is being rendered. You must always think like that. I feel like farmers, we need more confidence. We need more confidence to be able to tell the customer yes or no. Remember, you need their money, but they need your produce. They need your chickens. They need your supply. So therefore, you need to get into a negotiation and be able to negotiate and say, this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I'm not willing to do. And I always tell people, don't go and place 5,000 chickens and you haven't even gone around your neighborhood. You don't even know what other farmers are doing in your neighborhood. You're placing 5,000 chickens. Before you get into farming, anybody that DMs me, I'll always tell them, where are you farming? Okay, I'm farming in this. Do you know anything about your neighborhood? Because they'll be like, no, please help me with access to market. Your access to market is most likely the people that are closest to you. That's the first place you need to start. Closest to you, closest to where your farm is. That is where you need to start. That is how I started. Before I placed the first chick, I went around Hammanskral. I went around and I realized, okay, Hammanskral has got a knack for this. They like this. Okay, Hammanskral is a bit more rural than other townships because people actually plant their own spinach. So my spinach is not going to move in Hammanskral. Maybe the chickens will move. Then I sell some chickens in Hammanskral, but I don't sell my produce in terms of fresh produce like your spinach and everything else in Hammanskral because everybody's got that in their backyard. So those are things you're supposed to know. You can't just walk in and say, okay, I'm farming in this area. Hallelujah, guys. I now supply 1,000 chickens to who? What if there's also already a person that's supplying 1,000 chickens? What if there's actually a neighboring neighborhood where you could actually supply? So I always just say, and in fact, Sakani actually gave me this advice when I started farming, that start with your neighboring community, Start with your local community, but also understand their buying patterns. Go and speak to other people that are doing it before you. Do people buy more chicken, from the 20th of the month until the end of the month? Or do they buy more chicken at this time? So there's certain, like it's called field marketing research. You need to do that. You can't farm without being a field marketer. You need to go and speak to people. If you're shy to speak to people, appoint someone that's going to represent your farm, that is going to go around the neighborhood, go around the community and speak to your people and find out exactly how things are being done. So you can actually monitor buyer behavior and know how to respond to that. So I think in terms of access to market, that's the best advice I can do. Before you put out flyers and posters on Twitter, because people be like, yeah, Twitter, I can get all my customers from Twitter. But remember, Twitter is catering for everyone around the world. Your neighbors might not be on Twitter. The people from Kasia Haku, that is 10 kilometers from your farm, might not be on Twitter. In fact, your market might not even be on Twitter. So again, look at your neighboring markets. Don't be scared to go into neighborhoods where you're not comfortable. And if you are, send someone who won't be. Because at the end of the day, I get so disheartened when I see farmers discarding produce, when I see us farmers losing on chickens, especially chickens, because chickens cost so much money to raise, guys. Do not raise birds unless you know where they're going to go. Or have a slight idea. Even if you're going to park on the side of the road, it's also fine. But again, plan that. Go and speak to the people from close, people that walk past that corner where you're going to park, and go park your car there and go and have a chat with people that walk past you. How are you doing? How would you guys feel if I actually came and brought my buggy and brought my chickens? All of that stuff. You can't just go and park your buggy. Come on, guys. Sorry, they don't know who you are. They don't know what you're about. You pack your buggy. Let's say one day you sell one chicken. But if you go there 3-4 days or a week before that, familiarize yourself, spend an hour or two or three analyzing that market, the foot traffic and everyone else. There'll be familiar faces. The day you park your car, trust me, there's a lady that saw you 3 days ago and when you're doing your research, and when they see you, it's like, oh, so you did come back. Oh my God, actually give me 3 chickens. Are you going to be back? Actually, I suggest you come back on Fridays. Then you start getting even deeper insight. Come back on Fridays because it's the busiest in this corner. And there's more people and people ask, I'll actually tell my friends that you're here. And that's how you create a market. You have to talk to people to create a market. You can't sit behind your phone, sit behind your laptop, and sit at your farm and expect the market to come to you. It's not going to happen. So I guess that's all I have to say for now, and we can progress the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, Norma. I think for myself, what I did was I designed pamphlets, flyers, and I went to the streets. I stood at the traffic light in town. I handed out my pamphlets. I went to the hood, where people go get their SASA payment. I handed out flyers. I went in the deepest of the hood to the people that are actually having the chickens in cages by the street selling their chickens. And I went to them and I asked them, where do you get your chicken? I can also sell you chicken. So some of these people will throw your flyers on the floor or on the ground while you're still there. Somebody else is going to pick up that same flyer, and all you need is 1 or 2 people sometimes. And from those, the resellers that I gave my flyers, one of them called me once, and then all of a sudden, I was getting a lot of calls from a lot of petty men that are actually selling chickens as well there in the same area. So I ended up delivering for 4 of them, and none of them took anything less than 50 chickens each time they took, and they would take every 2 weeks, every week sometimes. So Norma is correct in saying that your market is not going to come to your house. Nobody knows that you are selling chickens in your house. I don't even have a board outside that is saying chicken for sale. So you have to go out there. That's why I'm saying you must constantly be on your toes, because the moment you relax, you are going to have chickens in your house, and you will find yourself in a situation where you have to be slaughtering, because it has happened to me before. I had to slaughter more than 80 chickens with hands because I didn't have the plucking drum at that moment. Now you have to also get more people that you can pay so that they can help you slaughter these chickens, because it's either you slaughter them and put them in the fridge or you allow them to eat your pocket away. So guys, let's, like, it's so important. I constantly get people asking me, I'm in a rural area, I want to start with chicken farming. Is it a good idea? Honestly, I can't tell you if it's a good idea. You have to do your research. How many people are in that area? Is there room for growth, guys? And if there's no room for growth, some people will take us snacks, ne? When we respond to some things, or the way that we respond to some things, you will think I'm being weird, I'm being unapproachable, I'm going against what I said in the space, because I said, guys, come through in the DMs, me, I will respond to you. And then you're like, how, this girl, why is she responding to me like this now? But honestly, some questions, you can't ask me if it's viable, because I will tell you that no, please go do your market research. Is there room for growth? If you don't want to grow, then it's fine, continue doing 100. But if you want to grow, then what's the point? There's a guy, sorry guys, I'll use you as examples if you're in the space, but he called me to ask if he can, he has a room. He explained the meters to me, and I calculated, and I said, you can't even fit 100 chickens here. Yes, for brooding they will fit, but do you have where you will take them after that? He said no. I said, but the box comes with 100 chickens, there's nothing less than that. So don't do it. And it sounds mean, guys, but literally, what is the point? What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Because farming chickens is so much work. There's cleaning of sawdust, there's buying of sawdust, there's buying of feed. And the chickens don't care if they're 100 or 50. They will spill that water, and you have to change that sawdust because it's moist in that house. So all this work, where's your ROI? Because at the end of the day, let's stop treating our businesses like mushrooms. We have to all grow and be tall like trees. We can't be mushrooming 100 50 chickens, broiler chicken, 50 broiler. Even eggs is better, 50 layers, but 50 broiler chickens, where are you going to even get them? I think Buti by Black, your hand was up.
Yes, thank you. I'm actually jotting down some notes that I can talk to at the later stage. Sorry for interrupting you there while you were busy. Yeah, so I think what we need to do is we need to extend an invitation to other farmers, especially the commercial farmers, because I'm assuming that the guest speaker was going to talk about something similar to that, which is more of a contract in selling your chickens. So we should maybe extend the invitation to such farmers who might be in here. Yeah, I wrote a few. I wrote a few pointers. I'll keep adding them as the space goes when they come to me. So the one thing I wrote is don't outgrow your market, and then grow your market based on demand. So this is what I did when I started. I started with 600 chicks, which is 600 chickens, and there was a customer who came and bought all of them. Then he said to me, "You are playing games." Then I asked him, "How many chickens would you like me to make available for you at the end of every cycle?" Then he was able to tell me, "Look, I'll buy 800 every cycle." Then automatically now I know that the 800 is put away. Then it gave me an indication that I can grow my market. So outgrowing your market is very risky, because here we are talking about the so-called informal market, where your customers don't go into contract with you. They are going to come and buy to you because they want to, buy from you because they want to buy from you. Is not because they are held by any legal contract whatsoever. And then the next point is, if your price is higher than everyone's price in your vicinity, your chicken must be better than everyone's chicken in your vicinity. That's one thing for sure. Because like for instance, as I said, I talked to my customer. One customer said to me, look, your chicken is 3 rand more expensive than everybody else's chicken around here, because I'm selling my chicken at 55 rand, and apparently there's people who are selling 52 rand. But he said, look, don't drop your price because your chicken is big and your chicken is clean. So the people will come. And I actually found that I was able to sell even quicker than those guys who are selling at 52 rands. So that's another point. Now, you must also know which days of the month are your customers buying the most. That's one other important thing, so that you can be able to set your cycles in such a way that your chickens will be ready during that period or the week when it's too busy. And that is why my cycles, the way I run, is they become ready at the time when I know that's when my clients were buying the most, and I'm only catering for that market because I know that market is able to finish my chickens. That's very important. So another point is you must know the prices of the chickens around your area. Know the prices. Don't be like a guy who wants to sell his chickens 80 rand stock price when everybody is selling 50 rand stock price. That means he doesn't live there, he doesn't know the area, he doesn't know that actually the resellers who buy from you, they sell a chicken at 75 rand because he already wants to sell it at 80 rand. So it means that that gentleman hasn't done his research quite well. Another thing is, don't increase your prices just because everyone around you is increasing their prices. I am testament to this. People will come in a WhatsApp group and say, hey guys, we are all increasing our prices to 55 rands. And then you gang in and you want to increase your price to 55 rand. Why? Well, you were happy with 50 rands and you were making profit of 10 rand per chicken. Now suddenly you see 15 rand is more attractive and you want to increase the price of your chicken. When you do that, you sitting at risk of losing some of your customers who have already banked on coming to buy from you. And another thing that I've noticed is if the feed hasn't increased and there's no cost that has increased on your side, why do you want to raise the price of your chicken? Is it for fun because you want more profit or what? So what I did is I kept my price the same because at that moment nothing changed. And those guys who were saying let's change our prices, they ended up becoming my customers. So now my market increased in that way. I started having more customers. We didn't fight because they realized, okay, fine, we are selling a little bit more expensive than you. So when our chickens run out, we'll come and buy from you. So note that. Don't just increase your price just because everyone around you is increasing your price. I mean their prices. Know your business. And another point is that there is a risk of taking more orders than what you can cater for. Avoid that. Well, there's a lot of farmers who promise people chickens and they are unable to deliver because at first they were a little bit afraid that look, there won't be a market. And then you have 10 people who want 100 chickens each. Then you realize there's 1,000 chickens, but you're only doing 600 chickens. So your reputation is affected. And by the time you have enough chickens, nobody wants to buy from you because you've sold a lie before. So you must also be careful of that. And then another thing that you must be very much aware of is that you're not going to make the same profit from contract farming as you are making from an informal market. I think that's a fact. You must just be aware of that. You can make 20 rands profit per chicken in an informal market, but informal markets you might make 8 rand per chicken because there it's a matter of what you call quantities. You sell more and you at a lower price, then you're able to make your money. So be aware of that. You won't make as much money from contract farming as you would from informal so-called market. Yeah, I will keep my points there. I wrote a lot of points. As normal, let's give other speakers a chance. Thank you.
right. Thank you, Abuti, for those very important points. Prof. Dr. Abdul, welcome to the space.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am really happy to be the part of the space from South Africa. I am basically I am from Pakistan and I am working in United Arab Emirates. I have experience mostly with the camel because I am working with the camel dairy since last few years. But last year, I mean in 2021, we started one project in my village in Baluchistan, Pakistan, which is a hilly area. There are small gardens, orchards, family farmers are there. So we started one chicken project with the name of Saudagar. We bought very good quality, healthy, local native chicken. So then we increase their numbers and we do like niche market. We have documented the breed, their eggs, and the production systems. Actually, it is part and parcel of the agriculture of orchard farming. So we have like crops, we have vegetables, we have residues of fruits, and we have the kitchen or the home waste. So and also we provide some this commercial feed, and we are rearing like 200 chickens rural of rural or native breed. They are they are producing very little number of eggs, maybe 150 to 180 in the whole year. But their products are niche product. The people like the taste, the quality, and the production system, which is very healthy. There is no hormones, no flavors, no antibiotics are provided to the poultry. My experience, I would like I have no experience with the commercial chicken farming, but the farmers who have their own lands, they have their agricultural lands, and they have agricultural practices. They can keep 200 chickens with the especially with the rural or what they say backyard poultry or something like that. So this way, they will produce egg, they will produce cockerels, and the cockerel in Pakistan, in my place, we sell it with $6 to $7 per cockerel. There is very good price. The eggs is also very expensive compared to the commercial. It is almost 50% expensive than commercial. So the people buy it. There is niche market. So this way, and then you have like the manure from the chickens. Usually our lands, our soil, everywhere where there is intensive agriculture, we have our soil is deficient of micro minerals. So this way you will have very good fertilizer for your farm and for your agriculture, and then you will conserve or manage the good breed of your country. That will be some sort of indirect service to your country. And then you have niche market. You can make your business address this thing in Google Map or in Google. So you can make some advertisement through your Facebook, through your Twitter, and you can manage very good number of consumers. My place, it is far from the city, maybe 3 4 kilometers. Believe me, the people come in their expensive cars. They spend 3 times more than the price of the egg, and they come and they buy 1 dozen or 2 dozen eggs. This year, believe me, we could not fulfill the requirement, the demand. The people were coming and there was no enough eggs. Then we managed eggs from another farm from the other part of Pakistan, and the now we have like customers, almost 20 customers. Then what we did, we expand our business. I sent some money there to my brother. He is the CEO of the project. Now we have like 8 farms. We provided them 300 to 200 chickens. They are managing. We are providing food, feed for the chicken. We provided them the chicken, and we are providing the feed in and we buy the eggs from them. We do not take money from them. So we buy the eggs from. We earn some money in feed, some money in chicken, some money in eggs. So this way, we are doing it like a service to the people, but we are earning very good money, very enough money. I mean, like if I spend that money in other project, I would never earn that much money which I earned, and we provided almost 50 job for the 50 people, because we invest, and but they are trustworthy people. They are giving us the eggs, not the money. This project is really very successful project, especially if you will give it to the young farmers, to women farmers, especially the women. The women can fantastically and very good, they can manage the chicken farming. So that is my experience. I really love your country. I love South Africa. I have visited South Africa. So I love Nelson Mandela. So I really join your spaces. I love you people, and I know the beautiful country. You people can do a lot, because we have. This is my small project, and it is 100% successful project. So you people, please, someone should come. And the other thing, what we did now, we are going to expand, like the ordinary people. One is in graduation in university. He can invest like 100 rand. So you can make a investment fund where the people can invest 100 rand, 200 rand, 300 rand. This way you may have 10,000 rand. With 10,000 you can run 2 3 projects of 200 or 150. So the the profit will be divided. So if somebody lose, and 100 rand is nothing. If it is profitable, it will provide job for maybe 50 people, 30 people. So this way we have to grow as a community, not as a person. So this is my idea, and it is 100% profitable idea. So thank you very much. I took much. So I am here. If there is any question, I am available. Thank you very much.
Shoot, Abuti.
Oh, yeah, Amanda. I wanted to also add something, but let me acknowledge Professor Dr. Abdul. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing the information. It's always good to know what other people are doing in other parts of our lovely Africa. Thank you very much, sir. I wanted to say one of the other ways of selling chickens that I have used when I was starting was I got a guy who has connections and is able to sell chickens because he's recommended. He kind of like knows all customers in the vicinity. And he said to me, look, for every chicken I sell on your behalf, at your price, you'll give me 1 rand per chicken. And for me, it was a good deal. I mean, the guy would sell 1,000 chickens within a day at my stock price, which is 55 rand. And I would take 54 rand per chicken while giving him his 1 rand. And you see, he has to sell a lot because for him, he wants to make that 1,000 rand. But the beauty about it is after he's sold, the customers came themselves to collect the chickens. Now they will come back directly to you without him. You see, he's expanding your market because every time he brings in a new customer, you give him 1 rand per chicken. But when that customer comes back again, you no longer give him that 1 rand per chicken. Yeah, so that is also one of the ways that you can explore as far as access to the market is concerned. Don't be stingy and don't be afraid of losing 2 rands here and there, especially in the beginning. I remember when I started, I was asked that what's going to happen if you raise your chickens and nobody buys them, because like I said, there's no guarantee, especially when you start. And I responded that if nobody buys my chickens, I will give them to the villagers and they will know where the chickens are. So that was just the beginning of it. And it makes sense now because after being in the industry for about 2 years now, one thing I always tell farmers is if you're running a cycle, you must always have money set aside, which is the equivalent of your cost of operation because anything can happen. So at least you know that you are covered. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, the point I wanted to raise for now was that do use agents. Don't be worried, even if they can ask you to rent a chicken. So those customers that are coming with them, they know where you are and they will come directly to you next time. It expands your market because some of those customers also refer you to other customers as well. I just wanted to mention one other thing that it's not happening a lot in South Africa, but it might happen in certain parts. I don't know. Is that some of the bulk buyers who buy from you, they are aware of the age of your chickens and the weight of your chickens because they're buying from you. So in days when it's tougher, they tend to kind of like wait you out until you start realizing that the longer you keep the chickens, like me, every day that I keep chickens which are over 5 weeks, they cost me like 2,400 rand a day. So you understand, you losing 2,400 rand a day because nobody's buying a chicken. You end up doing a calculation and realizing that, okay, I might as well just drop my price by 1 rand to be a little bit more attractive, to avoid spending the money that I am spending. So those dynamics are there. I know that Osnoma mentioned that we mustn't sell ourselves short, but if your price is not, I don't know whether I can call it the right price or not, but I believe my price is right because my price is usually informed by the profit and the cost of feed and my customers as well. I do ask them, guys, how much do you want to pay for a chicken? Because they are more experienced than us, most of those people. Most of my customers have been in the industry of buying and selling for 17 years. So they're actually able to tell me when my price is too much and when my price is reasonable and when it's too low. Surprising enough, they used to tell me, look, you're too cheap, increase your price by 2 rands and so forth. So you also look out for that when you talk to your customers. I think that's where you can also learn a lot. Thank you very much.
Just to add to that, or to advise probably in a different way, when your price is watery, you tend to seem a bit of a crook. Like maybe people will think, oh, so you were overcharging us, that's why now you are willing to go down. So yes, when people are crying and saying no, please, because whatever, you can, but you need to be very straight and very upfront when it comes to pricing of your produce. I remember when my chicken started laying eggs, this lady asked me, so how much is a tray of 30 eggs? And I said it's 50 rands. And I said, but it will go up when feed goes up. So that's not the price that you should always expect to be paying. And then she says, no, you must not take it up. And I said, no, unfortunately, when things go up, I'm also going to go up. I can't stay at the same price because it means that I will be selling for you guys to be happy, and I'll be left with nothing in my account. So you need to say your price and keep your serious face sometimes, because people will even say, no, that white guy, he sold to me a chicken at 48 rands, and you know that he's lying. He just wants you to go down as well, and on top of that, they still expect you to deliver. So you also need to be a bit strict when it comes to knowing. That's why Abuti Black is saying, know how much you spent and know how much you want to make. What's your profit margin? and stick to it. As long as it's fair and you know that you're not trying to kill people, then you must stick to it. And as long as you know that at the end of the day, you would still be able to run your next cycle and the next one, and your business will be sustainable, then you can agree to have a certain price. And okay, so in regards to, which was what I wanted to talk about, the access to market share, if we're doing it professionally and not a niche market, the prices are actually not bad or as bad as some people might think they are. I just did a quick check now as the doctor was speaking of how much is a broiler fresh chicken at the present moment in South Africa. And per kilogram, it's actually going at, so your chicken would be bought at 30 rands, 57 rands. What? 57 cents? Ooh, guys, is ooh, ma. 30 rand 57 cents. 30 rand 57 cents. So if basically you are doing your chicken, maybe dressed weight is 1.5 kilograms, that is times 37, you would be making 56 rands. So it's actually not bad. And for a 1.5 chicken, it's 5 weeks, at well, 5 to 6 weeks. So you basically, it's actually not bad. So I think uh, we can find ourselves in a position of trying to talk down on the growth or being big or whatever. But the honest truth is that we're aspiring to go there. So basically, we must try to study and try to understand and know that the moment you go into the shop and you ask them, okay, guys, I would like to supply you guys with broilers, then you look at what the internet is saying, check the prices, see if they will work for you, and then you'll be able to go and make an offer. And if they take it, then it will be good for you. I mean, they took it at 31 rand 50, and the prices have actually gone up now because they were 29 rand something. So yeah, but another thing that I just wanted to point out from what the professor was saying is that when you round up everything that he said, you have to know that when you go into poultry, you actually need to work very hard. It brings back to the point of constantly having to be on your toes. You have to work hard in order for it to work out. You have to constantly think of ways and strategies in order to supplement and make it work here and make a circle. It must be a conveyor belt, it must be moving in order for it to work out. And and you don't have to do it alone. Unity, of which is something that we're learning, us as farmers right now, because we realize a lot of us started alone. And I think some of us have tried other businesses and we have been hurt by partners or by working with other people. And you become so bruised, and it's growing pains in business whereby you end up saying, I don't want partners. I've had people that came to me and said, no, we want to partner, we want to invest. And I kept shutting them down for several occasions, up until I realized that actually, if I want to grow, I would have to, at some point, work with other people. So the professor said that you can actually ask people, and Buy Black actually does this, and he jokes about it. He'd be like, how much would you want to invest in my, how much would you want to make if you gave me 1,000 rands? How much would you want back? And if those people actually give that thousand, it's room for his growth. Maybe he will take those 1,000 rands and enlarge his coops and then put more chickens, and then he'll be able to give those people their 1,000 rands very quickly. So, okay, guys, the floor is open for questions, by the way. Uh, I just wanted to give Abuti Buy Black a chance, and then there's something that was in my DMs that I just wanted us to sort of answer. It's a question. All right, Abuti, you can go.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. You spoke about the price of a chicken per kilo. I just wanted to ask because I'm part of a few groups that are now trying to go contract. And what I've realized with most of us is that whenever this price of chicken per kilo is given, it always excludes the cost of processing. So I just wanted to ask from you as to when you look at it, because obviously we talk about this every day and we believe that as small scale farmers, we need to eventually graduate into formal markets where we start selling big, large quantities and start making serious money. But at the moment, what I'm picking up is that whenever a customer comes to me and says, I want a chicken at this much price per kilo, it only makes sense if I don't slaughter it. As soon as I factor the slaughtering cost into it, that's where it becomes a problem for me. And then I wanted to talk to the point you spoke about of people investing in your poultry business. Guys, it is real. When you are consistent and people can see your product, that they can invest in your business. I did get an investor, actually I think 3 from Twitter. The guys, there was no application form to fill because they see your product. In 5 minutes, I think in the vicinity of 150K was deposited into my account. That's when you are consistent and people are seeing your product and they know that you'll be able to make this money. They won't even ask you for a business plan. They will just say, look, here's the money, go and make more money and give us our money, and you go and work your magic. Yeah, so if you can just answer that one for me, Amanda, because we just need to maybe at some stage eventually, because we want to expand and grow ourselves as well and become, contract farmers. But the processing price it seems to be a fixed price in Pretoria. It seems to be going at around 950 per chicken. So whenever I factor that in, it always makes the price a little bit. It drops my price as a person who's selling the chicken. Thank you.
Okay. So in terms of places that I have mentioned, usually they are the ones that would be processing their chickens, because remember, if you are just a farmer or a chicken grower, you don't meet the food security uh, implications that are needed in order for them to be able to go place that chicken at the shelf at Checkers. So what you do is that you only raise your chicken, and then they come to your farm, they collect your chickens, and then they do average of everything. So basically that's why it's always nicer when you work as a contract farmer, because like I said at the beginning, they send out trucks to come and collect, and then they process, you get your money clean. So that is, I think that's what we're all aiming for. Not to now you must drive, that's petrol, go to the abattoir, pay 10 rand per chicken for them to process it before they can come and collect it.
Awesome. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you very much. I think you can proceed to other speakers.
All right. I think KCCL already unmuted his mic, so he can go. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Okay,
can
good.
hear you.
Okay, good. It's important for SMEs, as you mentioned earlier, to begin to work together and collaborate. Chicken business is a very sensitive business that once it reaches the age, you are looking at maybe 6 weeks old now, you begin to lose money. So it's important for collaboration. Maybe what you have to do is to raise it to starting stage, and once you raise the starting stage, another person take the chain of you. Talking about contract farming now, whereby you have people once you raise it to up to certain state, they take it off you. Then they can process it and then freeze it if it is possible, then sell it. So it's important for collaboration. And most farmers, they just go into production aspect. They don't go to they don't think about the marketing aspect, which is critical. I believe it's important for us to first and foremost look for the market first before you start production. It is very, very important. And then begin to collaborate with other farmers, and then it will help you to grow your business. There's no way you want to scale your business uh, without money put in, either by an investor or through other means. But the most important thing, that once you grow your business to certain stage, you need to scale it up. So that once you to scale it up, you need injection of money into that business. So it's important for us to begin to plan all these things from the beginning, that once I get to this stage, I'm able to raise 5,000, 10,000. Then I need to scale up. Then you can begin to put certain structures in place, which will definitely help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very important points there, sir. Muswa, oh, guys, you
Swat, yeah.
Siwale.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for the insights that you are sharing. I value them so much. I just have one question. I just wanted to ask, for someone who's still starting out and doing, perhaps not doing bulk orders, how, from your market or from where you roughly are targeting, roughly, so from where you are producing to where, distance wise, what advice would you guys provide? Because I'm even thinking about, maybe it would not be good for produce to be traveling a long distance, be it broilers, be it the eggs. So roughly, from plant or production to market, what generally is the distance that one should be looking at, so that the product is not compromised in any way? Thank you very much. But thanks for the insights shared.
Hello, Abuti. Well, in terms of the distance, Abuti Tsukhang actually said the other day that your farm needs to not be on gravel road or a longer stretch on the gravel, because even the customers will turn back if there's too much gravel that they would be driving. But however, if you're in a good road, I can't really say that there needs to be for live chickens. Live chickens at day 35 going forward, they can actually travel a very long distance. There are people that take chickens to Eastern Cape, you know, spells me. So from Pumalanga, that's 900 kilometers away. I took some of my lawnman cockerels to the Eastern Cape because I'm trying to run an experiment. I want them to mount my road runners. I traveled without giving them water for 9, 10, 12 hours on the road. And when I got home, I gave them water and food and they were fine. So, but and eggs, honestly, the only thing that would be a problem is that if you put them outside in the sun, maybe your truck is not closed off, maybe that would cause a problem. But I mean, we travel long distances with fertile eggs. We order fertile eggs from KZN and they come all the way to GP to Mpumalanga, and we just give them 6 hours of rest and shove them in the incubator and expect to see day old chicks. So, and then in regards to fresh chicken, I think in that's where it would be very tricky, because remember, if meat thaws and then you want to refreeze it, it might be problematic. So when you transport already slaughtered chicken, you would have to have a mobile fridge, perhaps. I think that would be better. And if you slaughter it and it's fresh and you drive 40 kilometers, and when it gets there, it goes into the fridge, it might be fine. But if it's a hot summer's day, you don't want to give your customer chicken that has an offish smell. You are automatically cancelled because people are very touchy with their food. So I don't know if that answers your question. Yes, Norma, you wanted to add on that?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say, like, how long is a piece of string, right? It all depends on the transportation. I think that's like Amanda mentioned.
Thanks. I'm answered. Thank you very much.
All right, great. Yes, by Black.
Oh yeah, as Amanda, I also wanted to add that, all right, with me, my experience is I have a customer who comes from Venda every month end, and that gentleman travels about 350 kilometers. He reports that none of the 300 chickens he's taking is dying on the road. That's the first thing. And then I have a customer who travels 30 kilometers, and he reports that 15 chickens died. I mean, the guy is traveling like 30 or 40 kilometers. He reports that chickens die on the road. So very important is the time of the day when you are collecting the chickens, the temperature and the mode of transportation, because you cannot come and collect chickens in the hot of the day, you know, like 32 degrees outside, and then you come and you want to collect chickens in direct sunlight, you're going to have problems. So what I've noticed with most of my customers, especially those who come from far, they arrive at the farm at 3 o'clock in the morning. And they don't have problems because they're traveling in such wee hours of the morning. So I think you must just be careful of that, because otherwise you'll have a bunch of customers complaining that chickens are dying in transit. Well, it's actually not your fault. It's their fault for taking them when it's hot, and the way they are also driving as well. I had one gentleman saying that there is people who just drive somehow. I don't know how. Then the chickens die as well. So yeah, that's the little I wanted to add to that. Thank you. I think what to take is the time of the day of collecting the chickens is very important. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to welcome, is it Michael or Nduna to the space? Good evening.
But I'm very confused. Table checker, we've been in a number of spaces. You still can't say my name? Michael? Who's Michael? No,
Nduna.
it's fine.
YouTuber. That's what I'm calling you from today.
No, table shaker. You can call me Mitchell, or you can call me Mutumba, or you can call me the headman of cattle. Just simplify your life. Let's make life easy. We should make life farming full stops, not long stories. But yeah, good space, guys. I'm sure as many of you would know me on this space now for a minute. I'm not really a chicken farmer. I'm learning from you guys. I did chicken farming just as a hobby, nothing to do business. It was for my own consumption. My mom is trying to set up a layer business, which she's trying to encourage me to partner with her. All I would love to speak about is just the partnering in business. It's a good thing in agribusiness. It's very good. I encourage people to partner. If table shaking, go for it. But I would also warn you guys that you remember the old saying that goes, sometimes the devil comes wearing a suit. So what I mean by that, I'm not trying to say Norma or table shaker, you're the devil. No, I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying that you should also be very careful with who you partner with. My agri experience with livestock farming, doing it with my father, even though it was father and son, it was a constant bumping of heads because I had the physical expertise and the know-how. He had the financial. So he kept, can I say the word? He kept my testicles in a vice grip. I couldn't really make decisions. So when you do decide to partner with someone, if you're going to decide to partner with Buy Black or with Table Shaker, make sure you guys have clear cut rules of how you guys engage each other in your business. Because if we're all going to run into partnering, you might want to partner with, for example, Rainbow Chicken, and then Rainbow Chicken can put their own. Please don't. I hope you guys aren't recording and going to go tell Rainbow Chicken this. I don't want to get sued. I don't have money. 500K I don't have. But what I'm saying is, be very careful with the terms and conditions. So just lay the terms and conditions that are fair for you as the farmer and also fair for the person who's coming in with money. Because you don't want to find yourself dragging each other to court, fighting. You know, me and my dad, it's father and son, we still cool, but will I do business with him in future? No, because I learned a very difficult lesson. And particularly when they come in, they have the money, they will really have your testicles in a vice grip. So just be very careful with your partnership and make sure you put everything on black and white and make sure the terms and conditions are how do I say, beneficial for both of you, both parties. So that's all I'd love to say. But yeah, do look for partners and investors. They can really help you get to the market, like what Buy Black said. With that said, I yield the mic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mitchell. Yes, this is better. That's the name I prefer from today onwards. Um, some farmer here in the space who is a co-host knows very much about what you just said now. You know, when it comes to partnering, we do experience some of those things, but these are growing pains that we experience in business, and they really help us to next time to know how we handle the next agreement or the next partnership that we get into. So yeah, while I wait for more requests, if there are any, I'm going to read a DM from a person. Yeah, it's long. Ish, guys, it's very long, but okay. Hey sis, hope you're doing all right. I'm starting out in broiler poultry farming and I could use some advice on a couple of questions. I have a couple of interested resellers in my area who sell chickens at 70 rands. They usually buy at 45 to 50 rands. They gave me no specifications with regards to weight. My total overhead amount to about 42 rand 97 cents. With starter feed all the way to finisher, along with the expenses. In order for me to cut expenses, I would raise them to about 4 weeks, and my understanding is that I would just not provide finisher as these resellers have their own mini coops and their homes with feed. That would cut down my cost to 30 rands 38 cents, and I would then be able to sell at maximum 50 rands. I've never raised chickens, finding it difficult to get first-hand experience from other broiler farmers. I know because people don't really want to help. So my question really is, would you advise to sell at 4 weeks? Do you think they can slaughter at that age? What is the best size I can get at 4 weeks? Is there a way to promote growth? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that okay. So the question is, would you advise to sell at 4 weeks? Do you think they can slaughter at that age? What is the best size? And the best size I can get at 4 weeks? Is there a way to promote growth? Okay, so uh, I like the fact that she's done a lot of research and she knows, the amounts that would be needed in order for her to actually raise a chicken all the way to 6 weeks, which is 42 rands and some cents. So selling a chicken at 4 weeks, it would probably be, I would say live weight 4 weeks is about.
Okay, so 4 weeks here, according to Alzu, your chicken at 4 weeks, you should be looking at 1.45 kgs.
Yeah, but sometimes the reality of that happening, you know, like in winter, you'd find that you don't get there because in winter chickens really grow slow. Um,
Yeah. Also, sorry, I was looking for the weights for you since you asked. So my chickens currently, because I'm weighing them against the chart of Alzu, mine are sitting at average of 1.48, and I see here Alzu says 1.45. I hope that answers your question. I will add more to this question when you're done.
okay, yeah, okay, so that's awesome. And so at that age, you can slaughter a chicken for for shisanyama guys if they want 900 grams to 1 kilogram, basically. And I mean, it also seems as though perhaps you're trying to capitalize on making more money. That's why you want to sell the chickens at 4 weeks to resellers so they can grow the chickens themselves. But at 4 weeks, a chicken is not priced at 50 rands. But I mean, it depends on your area as well. If you can get that, then you can do it. But usually, 4 weeks is about 35 rands to 40 rands. Abuti, how are your prices?
Yeah, I just sold a few yesterday. It's 4 weeks. I want to take a look quickly here at the price. If you can give me a minute or two.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I keep muting and unmuting. Okay, and then what is the best size? Okay, I think we've answered that question. Is there a way to promote growth? Probably not. That is approved. The only way that your chickens can grow is that you give them feed. Just allow them to have food. And for me, I don't know if other people have also picked it up, but when you do a comparison of crumbs and pellets, I feel that chickens grow more when they're eating pellets because they drink more water, which promotes growth basically. So you can move them from crumbed feed to pellets and see if that will make a difference. But just don't starve your chickens. Your broilers are chickens that should be fed ad lib, meaning they should eat until they are fine. What I've realized is that the more you try to starve your broilers or you try to withhold feed from them, is the more they're gonna eat because they don't know when they will be eating again. So you're teaching them bad behavior that they go and you starve them. Maybe you only give them food in the morning and in the evening. So during the day, they know that, okay, since we don't get food, when food comes, they want to capitalize and eat. And you will see their crops are so full because they're trying to fill up so that they can be fine till the next meal comes. So just avail food, avail water for broilers, and they will grow. And actually, they start eating a lot day 28 to 35. After that, it goes down. So yeah, but those are the peak times. So if you are selling at 4 weeks, then we would have even avoided um them overeating. So maybe you can consider having a fair price than that $50. Yes, Abuti?
Awesome. So this is what's happening. The question of can you sell a chicken at 4 weeks? Yes, you can. I sell chickens at 4 weeks, and I've noticed that mostly people who buy chickens of 4 weeks are other farmers who intend to grow them, to maturity at their own farms. However, obviously you cannot expect, because my full grown chicken is 55 rands. What the guy did is he did his calculation, and then we came down to 37 rands a chicken. And yeah, so Let me get out of this house. This girl is crying. So it's possible you can sell. That is 37 rands. But then if you're selling for slaughter purposes, you're looking at less than a kg per chicken. I suppose when you have a market for that, then you can also sell. And the question of using growth promoters, guys, I am completely against growth promoters. I can't even name them. There's too much micro ingredients that are meant to help fast track the growth of a broiler already in the feed. It's not necessary to buy these things that are called growth promoters. The feed is supposed to grow the chicken. What do you want to do? You want to give it some or liquid or whatnot and let it grow. What exactly is going into the flesh of the chicken? I mean, unless if you are talking about something that gives them appetite, but even so, it's not good. So what I want to say is I've tweeted this today that I don't prioritize growth. I prioritize quality. And the reason why I prioritize quality is because if your chickens grow faster than the internal organs, they start dying of heart attacks and other related sicknesses that I don't know about. So what I do is I just want to make sure that when my customer travels with my chicken under normal conditions, it doesn't die in transit. And that is a well-grown chicken. Otherwise, giving them all these liquids in the market that are called growth promoters makes me wonder if that is the liquid that grows the chicken or the feed itself. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing because I know you are anti. You do not support it. And honestly, guys, if your market is one that would come and pick up the chickens to go to Limpopo, and you have given your chickens growth promoters, they will arrive in Limpopo and 70 chickens would have died, and then you would have to go replace them. I know people that suffered such situations. So because you are trying to retain your customers, you have to now obviously try to balance them for the loss that they have suffered, and then you are losing, so you become the biggest loser at the end. What I give my chickens, I try to be natural. I've said that people must Google turmeric for broilers. It's quite good, but it gives them um an appetite, like an energy to actually eat food. So if you give turmeric water to your chickens, you can get them to eat normally if maybe they were lacking in the appetite section. But otherwise, pellets, if you give your chickens pellets, what I usually say to people is, if you want your chickens to grow a bit faster, maybe what you can do is from day 15, instead of waiting 21 days on crumbs, you do day 15, you start mixing pellets with crumbs. So that the reason for mixing is because the reason why chickens need to take 21 days on crumbs is because they're still learning how to pick up. Their beaks are not big enough to pick up pellets. So if you just transition straight from crumbs to pellets, then your chickens are going to lose weight because they will be frustrated from inability to pick up the pellets. So when you mix the pellets and the crumbs, you ensure that they are going to eat and they will be learning how to pick up pellets. And then from there you can transition to pellets alone, um, grower pellets. And then basically your chickens will grow and in a way that will be satisfactory. So yeah, basically I think, I don't know, Norma, is there anything you wanted to add to that question? I
Sorry,
think
my network cut off. What was the question? Was this about growth? Because I think I caught your answer.
uh my the question was would you advise to sell at 4 weeks? Do you think they can slaughter at that age? what is the best size I can get at 4 weeks? Is there a way to promote growth? Yeah. So for me, when I did shisanyamas at 4 weeks, I would slaughter and I would get 900 to 1 kilogram, nothing more than that. That is the slaughtered weight.
Yeah, so because
You muted yourself, Osnoma.
oh, sorry guys, sorry. So I was saying, remember at at 4 weeks, your chickens are probably about 1.4, 1.5 kgs, right? So it means after you slaughter, you'll get, like Amanda said, about 1.1, 1.2, 900 grams. So you need, yes, you can sell your chickens at 4 weeks. You need to just find the customer that wants those birds. And most likely, I mean, most of the time, in my experience, those kind of customers, like they'll take those birds and go and process them, and those are the guys that will go take the birds, slaughter them and then freeze them and then sell them to whoever. Those are the guys that actually want those type of chickens. But our live market, they definitely want more for their birds, like 1.8 kgs and going up. So I'm not sure if that actually covers, or is that one part of the question? I think muting my mic in the middle of talking got me lost there a little bit.
Old age. The lady is
Hi,
actually
Bekugo Tandayo, I'm young. I'm a spring chicken.
the lady who asked the question is actually the speaker at the moment. And I think I'm just going to give her the floor to clarify if maybe we misunderstood her question, or to add on to the question if perhaps we have some parts that we didn't cover. Hello, Nompumelelo.
Hello, guys. No, you answered it perfectly. Um, oh, with regards to the growth promoters, because I was watching this other YouTube video, so I wanted to ask if maybe it's something that people are doing. Like, are they? Because I think the guy was mixing. It was just something. So I just wanted to know if it was like a standard practice, and maybe that's why some people are able to get these like 2 kg at 4 or 5 weeks. I'm also in the Facebook groups for these poultry businesses, and some people are selling it, 1.8 for two at 4 weeks. So I was a bit confused. So I was thinking, okay, maybe it's because they have feed, but they also have like a growth promoter, and that's how they're able to get to those sizes.
Norma, your question is burning. Go ahead.
Growth promoters. Yo, guys, I don't. Growth promoters, I don't know, guys. People do all kinds of things, pig feed, to try and get chickens to a certain weight. As you know, that broilers are, how do I say it? A broiler is a synthetic bird. So the feed already has growth promoters, guys. Don't feed your chickens, they'll grow. I don't have any tips to say, oh, you can get chickens to 2 kg at 4 weeks. Because remember, the reason why they'll tell you 6 weeks is because broilers gain a lot of weight for a small body, right? I don't know if you guys have seen some chickens actually dying from being overweight. It happens a lot with broilers. Those little legs can only handle so much at a certain time. So that's the reason why they'll tell you, to have a broiler, you need to, to a certain weight. It takes so much. When you're when it's at 4 kg, that body can handle 1.4 kgs or 1.2 kgs. When it's at 6 weeks, it can handle 1.7, 1.8 kgs for a reason. Remember, because broilers can die from heart attacks. They die from a lot. Overfeeding your broilers is fantastic. They look great. But are you compromising on the bird's health? I think the biggest thing is compromising the bird's health more than anything for me. It's, we're going to feed fatten to appease the customer, but is that actually good for the animal, guys? Probably not, because that animal is supposed to grow. Same with sheep. They'll tell you after 6 months, they are supposed to be 40 kg. After so many months, they are supposed to, for a reason, because their bodies can only handle that weight that is actually recommended by, people that know. And, scientists that know this breed or created the breed. So I personally am against growth enhancers. Feed your chickens, just feed your chickens. That's all. With commercial feed, like commercial feed